Hello everybody. I was hoping everybody would be able to take a quick look at our warm-up problem today and go ahead and give that one a try before we go over it. Make sure that we are paying attention to what they're asking. We want the equation of a line, and we want that to be the equation that joins the intersection of these two. So take that for what it's worth. Go ahead and give this one a try. So solving those two systems, we find that our intersections are at 13,6 and at 1, 1. Now we need to use those two intersection points to come up with the equation of our line. So calculating our slope, finding our intercept, and we have our equation. All right, so that's just a quick review of lesson 13.3. Now, what we're going to do in our next lesson is move on into graphing inequalities. So let me go ahead and talk about a couple of things before we move on. So the difference between our inequalities and equations is going to be the sign. We have y equals, or y is less than 3. That's an inequality. Y equals 3 would be an equation. We want to, when graphing these, first and foremost pretend or assume that this is an equation, and you're going to graph the line like a boundary. And when we talk about boundary, that's these notes over here in blue. When the symbol, the inequality symbol, is an or equal to, a greater than or equal to, or a less than or equal to, you're going to graph a solid line. But when that boundary line is representing a not equal to, it's a greater than, or it's a less than, but it's not an equal to, that's when you have to graph your boundary line as dashed. Once your equation and your boundary line are drawn, now we have to choose a test point. 0, 0 is often the easiest point to test. If that ordered pair satisfies the equation, it is in the solution set, you shade that region in. If it doesn't, it's not in the solution set, you shade the other region. So that purple dashed boundary line I just put up represents y is equal to 3, but I dashed it because it's not an equation, it's an inequality, and it was a less than symbol. Now I have to do the last part, which is test a test point to see if it satisfies the equation. Like I mentioned, the easiest one to often test is the ordered pair 0, 0. That ordered pair is right here. I'm checking to see if that ordered pair satisfies the equation of y is less than 3. So I know if y is less than 3, that's my y value. I plug 0 in for my y value, and 0 is less than 3. It satisfies my equation, so I'm going to shade in the solution set all of the ordered pairs that are less than that boundary line. Now, I have this handy dandy highlighter. Those of you who are working on paper don't have necessarily access to a handy dandy highlighter, so remember, that's when you guys are just going to be shading in, and you can just shade it in as simple as this. Okay? The neater it is, the better. And those of you who like to really dig into the paper, make it a little bit more challenging for yourselves as we get further and further into this. All right, next problem. Graphing an absolute value equation or inequality. Now, what I like to do with these types of problems is I like to take a look at this. First, I'm going to recognize the symbol. That means that this is going to be dashed. And for those who don't remember how to graph absolute value functions, first think about what it would look like if we had y equals x minus 4. Okay? And what we've got to be careful about this is that's really not a lot of what we're going to do. It's part of what we're going to do, but not a lot of it. So just kind of follow along as I do this. This is showing me that I'm going to start at -4 with a slope of 1. So all of these are going to be on that line, but this isn't a line. This is an absolute value inequality. So if I look at this line, all of these are giving me negative y values, but if I take the absolute value of this, that's the distance from 0. I can never have a negative absolute value. Okay. So if I start coming up with a table of values, an xy table, I like to start here on my y equals 0. That is an x value of 4. And I'll actually put that in the middle. So if I put 4 in the middle, 4 minus 4 is 0. Absolute value of 0 is 0. That makes sense. That point is on my line. And if I go to a positive 5, 5 minus 4 is 1, absolute value of that is 1. I'm still good. Okay. But what if I went backwards to 3? Okay, once I take 3 as my x value, y is greater than the absolute value of 3 minus 4. Okay, but 3 minus 4 is negative 1. Absolute value of negative 1 is positive 1. I'm back up at 1. So at positive 3, I'm actually back up here. Okay, and if I continue with this pattern, I go back to 2, or I go back to 6. 6 minus 4 is 2, and 2 minus 4 is negative 2, but I'm taking the absolute value. I start to see the V shape that we know as the absolute value function. And I can start graphing the rest of this in. You're welcome to check that in your graphing calculators. You're welcome to check multiple points in your table and keep checking, or graph your function. These I just did in gray because they're really not part of this function at all. That's the absolute value of x minus 4. Now when I'm choosing a test point, again, I like to choose 0, 0. 0, 0 as my test point is often the easiest one to look at. So I have an x-coordinate of 0 and a y-coordinate of 0. I'm checking if 0 is greater than the absolute value of 0 minus 4. Okay. That's my x-coordinate, that's my y-coordinate. I'm simplifying this function now. I get 0. Is it really greater than the absolute value of negative 4? Okay. And that's where you got to be real careful with absolute value. Is 0 greater than positive 4? The answer obviously is no. So that means this is not a solution. And if that's not a solution, then the other side, or in this case, all of these ordered pairs in here, do represent my solution. And to be perfectly clear, you're welcome to check another point. Just choose a point in the area that you shaded in. So choose a point like, say, 4, 4. If I checked 4, 4, I get 4 minus 4 is 0. Is 4 greater than 0? The answer is yes. So that does make sense, and I know that I'm correct. All right, moving on. Solution sets to systems of inequalities. I want you guys to go ahead, see what you can do with these. Make sure that you graph the boundary lines and take a look at every piece individually. So now I've only done the first one. I've done that in blue in my 2 different shades of blue here. I've graphed my boundary line as a dashed line, and I've shaded yes on the 0, 0 side. But notice I've just put these little arrows at every ordered pair that I plotted. That's going to make it a little bit clearer as I go to shade in the overlapping area, because the overlapping area where all of these inequalities are representing solutions is where I'm going to actually shade in completely. So just to be really careful and really clear, I'm not going to shade the whole thing in. That's going to make it much more difficult to see for myself and for the teacher who's looking to grade this. After graphing the second line, there's 2 things you got to make sure you're careful of here. First, when solving and you're dividing an inequality by a negative, don't forget you have to reverse your inequality symbol. And then also, when I'm checking my ordered pair, that's not 0, 0 is not a solution to the green line, so I'm not going to shade on the 0, 0 side of it. I only have 3 ordered pairs, so I draw 3 arrows. I can already see, since this section up here does not represent a solution to the blue line, I'm not going to shade here. I'm not going to shade here. And then this section down here does not represent a solution to the green line, so I'm not going to shade here. Right now I'm only looking in this section here. I got to check the third line to see the final shaded area. So similar issue here on the third one, making sure I divide by a negative, I switch my inequality symbol. 0, 0 is a solution, so I'm graphing below that orange line, and hopefully it's easier to see because I haven't done too much of that extra coloring or shading in here, that the solution set is not here because it doesn't meet the orange line. It's this section in here that I'd want to color in and shade in a little bit darker. That section represents solutions to all 3 of these inequalities. On the orange line would be good. On the green line or on the blue line would not. All right, take the next few minutes to go ahead and give example 4 a try. This time the graph is there. You have to try to write the inequalities. So here I've got them started at this point. You got to find the slope and the y-intercept. In purple there I have this dashed line, and in orange I have the solid line, making sure you recognize the slopes and the intercepts, and then you got to select which inequality. Now the way I like to do that is I can tell that this is a dashed line, it's not going to have an or equal to, but I also look, I've graphed above it, I've graphed up above, that's greater than, my y values are up, that's a y values are greater but not equal to for that purple line. For the orange line, I've also graphed above the orange line. I've graphed up. My y values are bigger, so it's also a greater than, but this time it's a solid line, so it's an or equal to as well. Last but not least, see what you can do with these 3 examples. The only different formatting here is just a different way of saying all ordered pairs such that y is greater than -3 and less than or equal to 5. Inequality with a circle graph, and a different type of an absolute value graph here. So for this first one, it's really just saying you have 2 inequalities. Y is less than or equal to 5, and y is greater than -3. Something very similar is happening here in the last one. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys a few minutes to try the circle one, and then try the last one. So you start by graphing the circle. In this case, it is a solid circle, a solid line around that circle, solid radius. If it was a less than or a greater than not equal to, you would dash that. And now we've got to figure out, are we going to be shading the whole section outside the circle or inside? And that's, again, checking a test point. And for this one, you shade inside because 0, 0 is not a solution. All right, for the last one, this one's a little bit tricky as far as how it's written, but if you remember what absolute value equations mean, or absolute value inequalities in this case, since it's the absolute value of x is less than 4, that means whatever is inside is less than 4 units away from 0. So think about how that could be written, similar to the first example. And if we think about that, if we rewrite that absolute value of x, then x is definitely less than 4, but if it's also 4 units away from 0, it could be on the other side of 0. So x is also greater than -4. It's another way of writing it. It would be similar to this. So we could have also written this one as a little bit different, more difficult because it's not equal on both sides, but it would have been a little bit trickier to write it this way. So absolute value of x is less than 4 means x is less than 4. I would graph, I'll choose red this time, a dashed line. Ooh, that's y. X is less than 4, so it's a dashed line through 4 on the x-axis. And it's greater than -4, so it's a dashed line through -4 on the x-axis. And if I checked a point, 0 is less than 4 and it's greater than -4, so I am going to graph or shade the middle section here. All right, folks, good luck on everything here. Hope everything goes well. Let me know if you have questions. Shoot me an email, shoot me a message through Google Classroom, and we will be in touch. I'll submit some homework problems that you guys can work on as well.